Hello. It is a beautiful morning. I hope you're having an awesome day. Let's talk a bit about sleep because it's so important. So often, especially if we're struggling with our health, we may jump to a lot of solutions like exercising more, eating less, taking supplements. Yes, those could be part of the equation, but oftentimes it boils down to some of the most simple basic things like sleep. And sadly, I'm sure you've heard things like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Other things like that, like we minimize, like, not needing sleep. Don't listen to that. You need sleep. I need sleep. We all need sleep. And I can say myself, I did not sleep well for some reason the first few nights of this week. Last night, an amazing long night's sleep. And I feel like a new woman. So I definitely know how important it is and how I feel and having the energy to do all the things I want. Where do we begin? So good sleep actually starts like right now in the morning. If possible, getting outside, getting some sunlight in your eyes before 10 a.m. is huge. And it sounds weird, but that's where good sleep starts, in the morning. With, again, getting outside before 10 a.m., getting sunlight in your eyes, and even it can be just a few minutes. Helps kind of reset and inform your brain, and that works with your circadian rhythm. So by nighttime, start to produce melatonin, getting you ready for a good night's sleep. So point number one, get outside before 10 a.m. if at all possible. I know that's tough. The days that I'm working in dentistry, and it doesn't always happen. But if and when possible, make it a goal to get outside before 10. And of course, good sleep starting in the morning. We all know about the evening routine. I've heard about evening routine. And there's a lot out there. You can certainly research, and ultimately, I'm going to say what works for you is best. But some key things are, I've heard things about like trying to not eat 2 or 3 hours before going to bed, not having anything to drink a couple hours before, and then of course, no screens an hour before, limiting your light from TV, phones, laptops, etc. And of course, along with that, like not working an hour before bed, getting your mind to quiet is a huge issue for a lot of us. And then that can also mean like things like doing a brain dump before you go to bed. If that's going to help get those worries, those thoughts off your mind and onto paper before you're going to sleep. So those are a few things that you can try. And I know a lot of us, we do need to do some things in the evening. So getting things like blue light glasses is an awesome thing to try. As well as another tip I heard, I was just listening to somebody talking about reading in the evening before bed, and that being a way, versus being on screens. Of course, I know a lot of us have, like myself, have Kindles, but there are settings I know on there to like lighten and darken it. So that's kind of cool, as well as using some blue light glasses. But the other thing that's really interesting that I've also learned somewhat recently is it's best to read fiction before bed. And that kind of makes sense because I know a lot of the books I read, I like a lot of nonfiction self-help books, and they definitely, for me, get me thinking. I have my phone there to take notes because I'm getting ideas or what have you. So that can actually kind of re-stimulate the brain, which is the opposite of what we want to do before going to sleep. So finding some good fiction, treating yourself to that, even if it's like 10 pages, 10 minutes before going to bed. Hopefully that is getting you thinking about your day and sleep, because it's so important. While we're sleeping, it's not just rest. It's when our body is repairing itself, when we heal. I know for me, I'm now 4 weeks out from my surgery I had, and definitely doing better, but I've had some days like getting back to work where I'm like, oh yes, I have to remember that I am still healing. I was feeling pretty sore yesterday and tired, so having some grace with ourselves too, depending on what's going on in our life. But sleep, so key, so important. I hope you've found a tip or two in here that will help you get a good night's sleep tonight.